Hey guys, I'm making an equipment change, and it's maybe temporary, maybe permanent. It is not that I'm necessarily switching back to the Tascarella, but over the last couple of days, I have switched back to the Tascarella from the Richard Black for the last couple of days. The reason is just because this is a cue that I'm most used to. What I'm changing, potentially, is my chalk. I'm changing away from the V10, experimenting with changing away from it. And I've mentioned in some videos before that while I really do like this chalk, and I really do like how clean it keeps my cue ball and my hands and everything, I get less spin with this chalk than I used to get with the triangle, and I miscue more with this chalk. I think I miscued more in 3 months with this chalk than I miscued in the 10 years before I switched to this. And people will be like, yeah, but you miscue all the time, Dave, you suck. And and as I've said in the video, I know my own game, I know how often I miscue, and I know that part of it is my fault. The miscue is just as much my fault as the tip or the chalk or whatever. But the fact is I miscue more often, way more often, way too often with that V10. And short of actually developing a better stroke, which I guess I'm always working on, well, maybe I should switch back to the triangle. I didn't miscue as much with that. I got more spin with that. It was a better chalk in those two regards, but it spotted up the cue ball and I got skids. Never got a single skid with the V10. But it's not like I got that many skids to begin with. So I've been thinking about this for the last few weeks, and I said, Derby City Classic is coming up. I'm not going to switch back to triangle right before Derby City Classic when I'm fairly used to the V10. But Derby City Classic is over with. So now what do I do? Do I tough it out, continue to try to get used to the V10, develop a better stroke, whatever? Do I go back to the triangle and just deal with the occasional skid? Or try to find a compromise? And the compromise is what I've been working on. And the compromise, well, this wouldn't be a compromise. If I just went back to the triangle, it would just go back to the triangle. The compromise is this is the Taom Pyro. I did a video, back in the fall, comparing the three different types of the Taom chalks: the Pyro, the V2, and the V10. And what I kind of said about this Pyro is, yeah, it's a decent chalk, probably not worth the money, the extra price, over like the triangle. Kind of still stand behind that, but what I've been doing the last couple of days is showing me that it is keeping my cue ball pretty clean. Not as clean as the V10, but still pretty darn clean. Better than the triangle. I'm getting more spin with this than with the V10. I've not miscued with this like I did with the V10. And I haven't had a skid yet. So my thinking is, okay, this is kind of in the middle. I'm going to get amount of spin somewhere between the V10 and the triangle. I'm going to get an amount of dirtiness of the cue ball somewhere between the V10 and the triangle. A lot of things we're going to be like in the middle. So compromise. And that's what I've been messing with. So I picked up the Tascarella because this is the cue that I'm kind of most used to. Just got the Richard Black a week and a half ago. And I didn't want to muddy what little experiments I'm going to do. What experiments I did, they weren't much. There's a cat on my table again. Kitty, you're not allowed on the table. She doesn't care. The experiments that I did were, I did several. One of the experiments I did was this deal that I've talked about in the past. Well, just shoot this eight straight in with bottom. And once I get my stroke dialed in and all that, I shoot it enough times see how far up I go, and not just shoot it once. I think I shot each one 20 times with each shot. I shoot it with the triangle, wipe the chalk off, put on the V10, shoot it 20 times, and see kind of what, where I'm at. And where I ended up being at was with the triangle. This was all pretty much as expected. With the triangle, I averaged bouncing back to about here on it with a good stroke. Again, not my first try, but that's about where I averaged. A couple times I hit this rail, a couple times I only made it this far, but that was about my average. With the Pyro, or not with the V10 that I've been using since November, if I made it to this point, I would consider that probably luck. I miscued a lot during these attempts with the V10. No, not there, here. With the Pyro, compromise. Just about exactly right in the middle. As exactly what I had been expecting was that. So, draw is a pretty good test for me of the amount of spin that I get. Other things that I did, I really don't want to shoot a ball into my cat and have the ASPCA after me. Is she out of the way? But she's not really out of the way. But one of the things I did is I put the cue ball on this dot right here and just shot it straight down there with maximum right spin. Just maximum right spin straight down the table. Look and see where it hits, because I know it's going to squirt a little bit. Look and see where it hits down there. I'd at least try to be consistent with that and see how far, where do I hit? And in that case, I hit like there. I did this, again, like 20 times with each piece of chalk and kind of got average. That time I did better. Kind of got average. And no surprise to me, with the triangle, I actually scratched a couple times in this side, but my average was, I hit this point a lot. And I wasn't going from right here, like I was saying. I was going from this dot and going straight down the table, but there's a cat in my way, so I can't do that on camera. But with the triangle, yeah, if I scratched, it really didn't surprise me that much. I feel like I can do better than I did with it, but I didn't. With the V10, I was about here. With the Pyro, once again, compromise, right about in the middle, what I wanted, what I was looking for. I didn't want to just switch back to the triangle. I wanted to find something that I could live with. And right now, I'm pretty sure that I can live with the Pyro. One of the things that got to me when I switched to the V10 in November was because my inner pool player, I try to be a field player, wasn't used to the chalk and the amount of spin and stuff, getting less spin, wasn't used to it. So I found myself having to think a lot more about what's going to happen. I'm going to have a bank shot. This is one of the bank shots that I practice a lot. I usually face the other way and watch TV while I'm shooting it. But this is one of the bank shots that I shoot a lot with no English, just bottom, and just bank that and kind of see where it comes back. When there's not a cat there, a good stroke will put me here, a worse stroke will put me here, whatever. It's you get a feel for it. And what I found was with the Pyro, with the V10, well, I was never getting as much, and a lot of times I was miscued. Yeah, I would miscue with trying to do any type of semi-extreme draw. Annoying. And miscues are embarrassing and annoying and cost you games and all that. Don't like that. I had told myself when I was at Derby City, if I miscued on any shot at Derby City, I was immediately going to switch back to the triangle. None of this, I pledge allegiance to the V10 and all this crap. I was immediately going to switch. But I did not miscue any at Derby City during my games. But I had to think a lot, and it took away from what I've been trying to do, which is be a field player. Field player, you don't have to think a lot. It's a lot less mentally taxing as far as just shooting the shot goes. I can give what little brain power I have into strategy and patterns and things like that, routing. I had that with the triangle, just like I had it with the master before. I'm hoping that I can get it with the Pyro. In my brief experimentation that I've been doing a lot of junk like this too. This is a little stupid drill that I talked about. Just put some balls here. And shoot them in sequence. 1, 4, 8, 10, 9. This is as much of a spin drill as anything else, because the shots are all pretty easy as long as they get the right angle. And just shoot it and make sure that what I think is about to happen is what actually happens. With the V10, I had to think more. And sometimes I would think and I would be wrong. With this, so at least so far, it hasn't been an issue for me. It's acting enough like the triangle. Yeah, the cue ball is doing what I want and expect it to do. Kitty, I believe, can I bridge off the kitty? No, I can't bridge off the kitty. Oh, there we go. See now what good are you if I can't bridge off of you, and then I'm going to feel guilty for making you move? I don't know. That's my equipment change. It's not anything drastic. It's not a cue thing. For now, my Richard Black is still my main cue, but I am playing with other cues because Derby City's over with, and I can pick up anything I want and hit some balls with it down here and all that. I haven't taken my Richard Black out in the public yet. I haven't had a public, play date yet. That's fine. I like it a lot. I've already mentioned that. I'm hoping that with that cue and with the Pyro chalk, that will enable me, to improve. It's always been my goal is continuous improvement, and I'm hoping that it will happen. The V10 I really like, and I'm just not saying anything bad about it, except that for me, I don't get as much spin, and for me, I miscue. So I don't like either one of those things. My inner pool players definitely did not like the not getting as much spin as was expected. So I'm trying something else. At least for a while, I'm going to try something else. And what I decided to try is the Pyro. And that's this video. Thanks, guys.